Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Graveyard J here with my one and only homeboy. You know his name already.
It's Little Democulus. How's it going?
And this here is Late Night Talks with the 256 Boys, official episode number 1.
The debut. Thank you for everyone who decided to participate in the group applause.
Yeah, we're recording in front of a live studio audience, folks. So thanks to everyone that showed up. You know, we're really pushing. No need for all that. Okay. Yeah, so it'll be great. Hey, look, folks, calm down, okay?
Hey, where's the security guy? We're gonna have to really get a hold on this crowd.
Get these people out of here. Get them out of the studio. Yeah.
All right, sorry about that, guys. But we're here to talk about something that's pretty near to us as as gamers and maybe just appreciators of really good stories. Is
Absolutely.
The series Final Fantasy. I guess I'll let you start since you were the one who grew up with it. I didn't exactly grow up with it at all.
Yeah, so I mean, Final Fantasy is very near and dear to me. I've been playing the games for a very, very long time. I think the first time I ever touched a Final Fantasy game, I was maybe like 6, 7 years old. My dad got a PS2 one year for Christmas, and he got Final Fantasy X with it. So I got to watch him play that game a lot. I played it a lot. And since then, I got hooked. And when me and your man became friends here, I introduced him, and the rest is pretty much history. And that's why we're here talking today about that topic, about a wonderful game, and all sorts of things about it.
So, I guess we'll go with I say softball question. It's more of just one that comes to mind really easily. It's so generic, the best one in your opinion. Now, maybe you think that something's the best, but it may not be the best that there is technically. It's just your favorite. Which one would that be for you?
That's kind of a tough one. Well, it really isn't a tough one. I've got a lot of great ones. Obviously my favorite one ever is still going to be 10. I say that's a tough one though for the recent phenomenon that seems to be going on where there's really good Final Fantasy games dropping. You got Rebirth, and wasn't all that long ago that 16 came out, and I enjoyed both those games. I felt like 16 was really refreshing for the franchise as far as the mainline game goes. Rebirth, obviously good. The first 7 remake was amazing, so Rebirth it's been what we wanted. We've been wanting to follow up on that, see where things go, and I don't think they've disappointed. There's tons of stuff to do. The world's really beautiful. It's a really great game so far.
And it's funny that you talk about the big games. When I'm more of at risk of sounding kind of pretentious, I'm a little more of a enjoyer of the smaller ones. Smaller, maybe side. I don't know, ones that are older. Because one of my favorites is Final Fantasy 1, the original. It's not my favorite. It's my top 5, I would say, that I've played so far. And mind you, I have not played that much. I will bring that to the surface that I've only played about 4 Final Fantasy games. And a forewarning, audience, this goes for the live studio audience too. There is a cat in this room with the audience in, and it's a giant cat. And just be forewarned.
Yeah, he's very feral.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's not. That's not. This is serious.
There's nothing funny about that.
There's nothing.
He will scratch your face off.
He has not a thought in his brain except malice.
Security, get him out.
Okay. All right. Get this heckler out.
Yeah. Let's get back to it. Alrighty.
But if I may say, Final Fantasy 1. One of the reasons I like it is that I guess I'm a sucker for fantasy tropes. One of my favorite fantasy games is Dragon Quest 1. Is very tropey and Western fantasy based, and the first Final Fantasy can feel a little bit like that with the Final Fantasy characters, monsters, settings, just set pieces, etc., etc. You got Sid, you've got things like Bahamut in there. Bahamut's not really what he tends to be in other games in one.
Actually, I'm gonna catch you on that one. That's not exactly true. The first time you probably really witnessed Bahamut was in 10, I believe. And 10, he's not at all like he is in most of them. Most of the time, he's just a dragon, like very typical dragon. And 1, he was pretty much just that.
Oh, well, fuck me.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Don't laugh at that.
Caught you on that.
I'm sorry. Asshole. That was really mean, audience. Security, if you'll hand out lollipops at the exit.
Great.
Yeah, see, I'm a fair leader. Anyway, one of the things that I always like to talk about with one, and I'll bring it up with you, because it's always interesting to see the answers, is, and feel free to answer in the comments. This is probably going to be the question of the video. Cheap Final Fantasy bosses, not the final bosses, can be any boss in those games. Who is just cheaper than Mr. Krabs in the way they fight, the way they heal, protect themselves, cast statuses? What?
I think 10 has some of the cheapest, even being one of my favorite games. If you're not prepared for bosses like Seymour Flux or Unalesca,
oh yeah,
it's a Spectral Keeper as well. I don't find that one nearly as tough as some people do, but I can the Spectral Keeper.
Oh, the one with the
the changing
like kind of pillars. Oh yeah, that was rough. Yeah. I walked through that. I watched the walkthrough. I'll state it right now.
I can see why that one would be more annoying, but it just never seems to give me that much trouble, no matter how much I play that game. That being said, Unalesca is always pretty much annoying, and I've played the game enough to always, that I know the strategy I'm going for. It's easy now, but if back in the day, if you were new to this game, especially if you didn't have a guide, it'd probably be hard to Google this shit up and search it. You were kind of screwed. It's not easy by any account.
Plot twist: we're there back when it was released. Your neighbor just got it and you've played it. What are you going to tell him about Unalesca that's going to help him out in the boss fight? Little Richie down the street, little fucktard.
What am I going to tell him?
I'm going to
tell him to not cure everybody on the party a zombie when you cast it.
God damn, that's the truth. That's the truth, because you'll set cure to be casted, and then Unalesca will cast. Yeah, it's just not a good idea.
Once you cure the zombie status, you need to at least have one person in your party, because she will cast this attack that will kill your party if you've cured everybody of that status. And the only way one person will live, which we all know that one person should be Una in your party. Una should absolutely stay in your party at all moments in that battle.
Agreed.
If you think otherwise, then
unless can I interject? Unless someone, and if you want to just be like this and be weird, I don't think it's really a good way to do it. But if you had someone who had auto phoenix and someone who had a lot of potions and remedies,
or if you're one of those dudes that spent hundreds and hundreds of hours grinding in the first area so you could give everybody everything very, very early on because you have absolutely zero life and do not breathe real air.
Breathe underwater. That's I mean, okay. I guess I'll throw in my 2 cents for Unalesca. What you need to do, or what you need to, not everybody's gameplay experience is going to be the same, but what I would do is I would stagger. Try it. You can't predict what's going to happen, but try and stagger zombie life zombie or life zombie life. Just make sure you have something that's not like the other, or Unalesca is going to fuck everybody. And, you're going to lose some of your party members. Yeah, don't be so hung up on that. Look, as long as you got one person alive and that one person is Una, you got a fighting chance. It depends on the boss, but you usually have a fighting chance.
So, I want to switch up for just a second.
Go for it.
Do you have, and out of all the games, do you have a least favorite status effect to be ailed by?
To be ailed by? I'm going to answer that, but let me just put one thing forth.
Like just the one that will just piss you off more than anything. When you see it, you just feel completely dejected.
I know it is, but what pisses me off and makes me feel just despondent and just want to jump just land on my head is Marlboro's black breath. Bad breath, excuse me. Bad breath.
Oh, well, yeah, well,
I know that's not a status effect, but that's like one of the worst things to be put with. It's all status effects.
That's an obvious one just because it's going to give you all of them. But I mean, just one
Captain
in specific.
Crunch, oops, all status effects.
One in specific.
Okay,
status effect.
I totally got it. It's poison. I'll tell you why. Because it is the most common and finicky thing. It's like pennies. Everyone hates pennies because it's so fucking common. They get in the way.
Well,
listen here. Being poisoned, everything poisons you. So you have to carry fucking a lot of antidotes. And it just, And sometimes you forget to buy antidotes, so all you have is fucking remedies. You don't want to use your goddamn remedies. So you have to thug it out, or you have to get Una to heal. But I guess if I'm thinking more in the long term, I would say that, I guess one of the ones that's like, oh my god, I guess I'm screwed is Doom.
Yeah. Doom is obviously.
But who casts
annoying.
Doom?
Not very many, but it's always an annoying, character.
Because you only have a little
stuff like that.
Kamari can learn Doom. It's really fun to cast it on the motherfuckers that, cut his horn off.
When it works.
It does work on the dudes who cut his horn off. You can make them die, kind of.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I think, to me, is my worst, and it's just as common as poison, and that's got to be silence. I hate silence.
Because you can't cure it with magic if you're the only one left.
Oh, yeah. I'm a magic slut. I'll admit it. I love using magic in Final Fantasy. I utilize magic for every party member I've got. It doesn't really matter in class. Oops. Sorry, folks. Yeah, we had a crazy deranged fan run up, and he tried to punch one of us. Our security guard just karate chopped his head clean off. So, sorry about that, folks. Sorry about that. Yeah. Let's get a quick cheer for the security guard.
Let's get a quick cheer for the security guard, Thomas McBunkle. He is a father of 10 in our neighborhood, and his children run rampant in the streets. They are bastards. We love you, Tom McFunkle.
We love you very much, man. We brought him here from Uganda. He is completely illegal, no papers.
He is
not even. He doesn't really even have documents like at all. Like
there's no birth certificate in Uganda of him either.
No.
The funny thing is he looks exactly like Keanu Reeves. I mean, completely like it, and he keeps saying he's Keanu Reeves. I don't really understand.
Yeah.
Anyway, but back to what we were saying is, silence is really shitty, especially if you have, I love Lulu, and I use 10 as example. Let me go to 8. Silence really sucks in 8 because, you stock up on spells all the fucking time. You stock up on spells and you need to use them. And what I like about it is that you can stock as many as you want and then cast them. However, it's dick when you're silent. It's absolute dick.
Yeah, it's just annoying. I mean, I like to be able to use my magic whenever it comes in handy, and most of the time it always comes in handy in some form or fashion. When you take that away from me, I get really salty. So, yeah, absolutely all day. There's plenty of really annoying ones. Berserk can be annoying. Confuse can be really annoying. Doom, obviously. Blah blah blah.
Oh no! Let me no. I will retract everything and I will say Confuse, because if you are very, very strong, and especially if you're in the weird part of the game when you're pretty strong, but maybe Riku isn't very strong because you just met her, and someone's confused and whacks the ever loving fuck out of that girl, she is dead meat. Like, she is dead as Dillinger if you're really strong.
Berserk actually comes in handy if you will put it on a character that's just really strong and you don't mind them doing nothing but physical moves. Because if you throw that on Orin, a lot of the times,
he goes berserk.
Once you get it, Is
that guts? I can't really see. Yeah, that's how berserk he goes.
Pretty much, yeah. Flat out. Goes crazy. Great. But, is what it is. Silence sucks. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be annoying.
Yeah, they always kind of like to keep the same spells. But I guess the question that I'll also put forward is characters. Now, let's go with main characters. What? I know which one you're gonna say. I know which one you're gonna say. It's going to be one or two of the ones I'm thinking. Worst character. Most annoying.
Squall. Squall.
I knew it was going
I
to be
hate
Squall.
Squall.
I knew it was going to be Squall.
Squall sucks.
It
Squall
was
is
gonna
trying to be
Squall.
Cloud so bad, and he can't even get the depressed part right.
Hey,
He can't even
hey,
get
let
half
me
of
say
that.
something on Squall's behalf. He doesn't even know Cloud, brother.
Yeah, I don't care. Screw that guy.
Who the fuck is Cloud in this world?
He's got a stupid ass sword.
Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, I'll concede to that. The sword gun, what's it called?
I don't fucking know. I hate that game.
I forget what the fuck it's called, but it's stupid. Gunblade, yeah, I don't like it.
Gunblade.
Yeah,
Yeah, Monster Hunter. Anybody?
Wait,
Hey, Squall, Monster Hunter call. They want their fucking weird weapon back.
I guess Final Fantasy annoying characters. I guess you already know mine. Cypher. I would like to take my hands and put them around Cypher's goozle and just throttle him until he's just dead.
And what would you know? He comes from the exact same game. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it makes a talent. It takes a talent to make that much of an unlikable character. Jameson, he's supposed to be the heel. Squall's not supposed to be the heel. Yeah, I know. I'm right. Squall's supposed to be the baby face or at least an anti-hero, and you got fucking Cypher who's just, look, he doesn't have go home heat with me. He's just annoying because he's supposed to be a shit heel.
He's just as annoying in Kingdom Hearts 2, might I add.
He's in Cypher's in Kingdom Hearts 2?
Yeah. I mean, you haven't played it, so you don't know, but...
Is Squall in Kingdom Hearts 2? Oh, wait, no, I already met Squall in Kingdom Hearts. Yeah. You meet Squall in Kingdom Hearts.
In both games. He's Leon in that game.
Yeah, he's Leon, which is really weird because guess what? His name's not fucking Leon.
Cypher doesn't play a big role. He's just in Twilight Town as one of the little side characters, just like Titus and Waka were on Destiny Island in the beginning. He doesn't stick around very long. He's just there.
You tell me things from Kingdom Hearts a lot, and they always tend to surprise me. Are you telling me that Cypher's punk ass is just chilling with everyone?
No, he's being a punk ass.
Okay, all right. Because
he's not chilling. He's chilling with his dudes that are also punk asses.
Oh, they were always punk asses.
One of those punk asses happens to just for some weird reason be Vivi from Final Fantasy IX, who,
wait a minute,
we're talking
that's fucking strange. That's very, very, very strange. That makes no sense.
Very strange.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. In fact, I think Vivi gets a little bit more plot than Cypher does in the beginning of that. Weirdly enough.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I guess one of the last questions I'll ask for Final Fantasy is, do you have any Final Fantasy games, that you think you could make a little bit better if you change the plot just a little bit?
Huh. Let me think on that one.
I'll present you with my answer in it. I would go up to Titus and Yuna. I'd walk up on set. This is all a movie, right? Quentin Tarantino directed Final Fantasy X, the movie, the game, the sequel, the prequel. I'd walk up to them and go, hey, that laugh y'all are planning to do that's going to be like kind of really funny and, y'all think it's really funny and y'all want to do that bit? Don't do it. People think that's lame. And I would stop them. And I would stop everyone who just says, isn't that the game with the funny laugh? It ain't that funny after you've played it 4 times.
Yeah, and honestly, even though I love that game, sometimes getting through those parts feels like a chore. Just sitting there and having to watch that, knowing when it's coming and slightly dreading scenes like that. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be rewarded with some really awesome, memorable, great scenes as well once you start getting.
Okay, what's your favorite scene in Final Fantasy X?
Favorite scene in Final Fantasy X? It's the opening. It's always going to be the opening because it's such a cool setup. You get Titus, just walking into the stadium. All of a sudden, it cuts to the cool looking cutscene. He's just chilling. Looks like he's in some weird locker room or something. And it turns out, he's sitting up in the rafters of this huge stadium. They're about to play this crazy sport they invented. Oh shit, who's this dude with the high ass collar and weird sunglasses standing on a skyscraper? Oh shit, what the fuck is that giant Gojira album cover flying toward me, blasting shit at me? Oh fuck, the stadium's fucked up. Heavy metal. Ugh. Yeah, It's the best. It's the coolest scene ever in all Final Fantasy, and definitely the best one in 10.
I guess my favorite, and I'm a sucker for pretty much this in only game form. I cannot explain to you why I don't get it in other forms of media. Is love stories, and of course, when Titus and Yuna are, in the lake, the scene like that. When the animation changes, and it's obviously a lot better than the rest of the game. Not that the animation of the game is bad, but you get what I mean. It's more like the build up before. It's like if you were to tell someone about that scene and they were to go see it, they'd be like, "Okay, this is really nice and it's really awesome, but the context is really what matters, obviously." But it's the fact that this is really the only time when Yuna really lets Titus know. Not the only time. This is one of the first times that she lets Titus know that she is fucking scared. You know,
Yeah.
and that's what I really like. She just kind of everyone lets their guard down at that
Yeah.
point.
So to answer your question you asked a minute ago, if there was a game that I could try to change a little bit to make it better, in my opinion, then I'm gonna have to go with Final Fantasy 12 or Zodiac Age, whichever one you prefer to call it. Um, I really love this game. I think it's a great game. The only thing that I think could very well be improved on is the fact that it seems so politics driven, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It fits for the story and the world they're in. Um, it could it could potentially use some of the goofier aspects in little parts of that game that make Final Fantasy what it is, in my opinion. Also, we'll talk about the main character, Vaughn. Arguably, the main character in the game is Ash, but you've got Vaughn being your starter character, and he suffers very badly from Zidane syndrome. In fact, you can pretty much call it Vaughn syndrome at that point because it's way worse. Because when you play 9, Zidane being the main character, he's a really cool character, but you feel like he's just tagging along in somewhere he doesn't really belong. He doesn't have to be there. He's just a tag along. Vaughn is very much that, absolutely a tag along. Very little, tiny bits of backstory. Nothing that he seems to be really benefiting from this, thing that he's going on. He is completely just tagging along. Um, he could improve on some character development, in my opinion, and a little bit deeper plot into the story, rather than just being someone who's just, hey, y'all are about to go do this cool stuff and help save the world. Well, why don't I just come too?
All right, I guess I'll give my serious answer because I was kind of just playing around with the thing. Is Final Fantasy 2? Um, it's maybe not how the story is; it's how it's told indirectly. So when you start, you name your characters, right? So you name, it shows you a picture of them. Well, you've got Furion, Guy, and Emily, I think the girl's name is. And you got Paul. Paul is like it's not even his name. It's the fact that Paul is the Black Knight. And they just show you, spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't played 2, cover your ears and go la la la. But he disappears for a while. He disappears after the first bit of the story. And then he comes back as the Black Knight, as an antagonist. But they just make it so goddamn obvious that he's the Black Knight. Because he just disappears, and then all of a sudden it's the Black Knight. Because guess what? You see the Black Knight in his outfit and what he looks like, and he's Paul because your friend in the beginning is Paul. Why would Paul wear black knight armor in the selection thing if he was not the Black Knight? I mean, I find that very frustrating because if I went in dry and did not know and it didn't tell me, the reveal would have been a lot better because because it doesn't just introduce the idea of a singular main character. Not he has some side characters, of course, and he has a band of merry men and women, but is Furion. And Furion isn't that deep of a. It doesn't have that deep of a backstory. It's more his circumstances and his friend's circumstances that make it interesting. Furion is kind of he's not a blank slate, but he's a very malleable slate.
And can I also say, it's slightly off topic from that, but if you look at his design artwork, not his pixelated, but the ones that were drawn up, he is very dripped out, completely
Furion?
swaggy. Yeah.
Oh, Furion's really dripped out. He's all colorful and shit, and he's just dripped the hell out.
He looks like a crazy gypsy dude or some shit. It's cool as hell. Like a gypsy pirate.
So, I think we're gonna actually end that there. I think we're gonna let that be the first 256 after hours after dark. What was it we decided it was gonna be?
I don't completely remember, but it's the first one, so we'll settle on it by next episode. So thanks for listening.
First official episode.
Thanks for listening. If you're listening in, I've been your host with the most, Graveyard J.
And I've been your host with also the most co-most, Lil Democulus.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night.